Hello guys, welcome you all for this end-to-end session on AIML where you guys gonna learn everything in order to become a successful data scientist. Hope you guys are enjoying. We are enjoying. We are learning a lot every day. So make sure like you guys are having the same thing. So if you guys stuck anywhere, we are here to help you. So please make sure that if you guys get any doubt, just ping in the comment. We will take it and we will just solve your doubt. Okay. So as I mentioned in the previous session, we have completed a part of machine learning, that is supervised learning. We have started to go through some theoretical concept of unsupervised learning. What is unsupervised learning? What are the topics inside unsupervised learning? That's the thing. So as always, guys, make sure that you guys watch all the previous session videos so that we can have a better understanding and a continuation of what we are telling you. Okay. So without wasting any time, let us jump into this anomaly detection. So that is what so we're gonna, it's a continuous session, guys. So we're gonna see the anomaly detection. We will start from anomaly detection. So it is a continuation session of previous session that we have introduced you to the concept of what is unsupervised learning, types of unsupervised learning, and we have talked about deeply, briefly about the clustering and dimensional detection. Now we're going to talk about the anomaly detection in today's session. Okay. So what is anomaly detection? Okay. Anomaly detection focuses on identifying a data point that deviates significantly from the normal pattern within a dataset, including unusual or unexpected behavior. Okay. Consider you are having a transaction, okay, proper transaction, okay, transaction line. So every day you are having a transaction of 100 rupees which is credited. Someday what happens, there is immediately there is a 1000 rupees credit, so that is some outlier. That is what called as anomaly detection. Let's see what are the things that we are having for anomaly detection. One class support vector machine, OCSVM, a method that learns a boundary around the normal data points and identifies the outliers outside this boundary. As I mentioned, right? This support vector, one class support vector, what happens means it will just go through the pattern, and when a data point is unusual for the pattern, that is outside the pattern, then it will treat it as an outlier and remove it. Okay, or it will show it is as an anomaly. That's what the first thing. Then isolation forest. So it's a tree-based technique that isolates an anomaly by randomly partitioning data, isolating anomaly in fewer partitions. Here, we will partition the data. Each partition, we will find a data point which is outside the normal trend, and we will eliminate that. That is what isolation for us. We will isolate those data points. So this is how we can eliminate or we can identify the anomalies present in the dataset. Okay. Hope you guys can understand. Yes, sir. Over to you.
Yes, so anomaly detection is, guys, simply outliers, which is abnormal to the baseline, the normal spread or normal distribution. Okay, so you learn these techniques. You have learned, you will also learn what we call as baseline, plus minus. Okay, Six Sigma and all. Those are standard deviations like normal distribution and stuff. So we call it with different names, okay? So whatever anomaly detection is focuses on identifying data points that deviate significantly from the normal patterns, normal distribution within the data set, indicating unusual, unexpected behavior. Like suppose from last 1 year, HDFC stock is performing at 10%, right? And suddenly there is a jump of 20%. So that's not normal. That is an anomaly. There's some problem, right? So some kind of abnormality. That is what. So these problems are there when whatever is your baseline normal spread, if it is not according to that, it is uh, showing some abnormal behavior. That is what is called anomaly. So one class support vector machine, OCSVM, is a method that learns boundary around the normal data points and identifies outliers, okay, outliers outside this boundary. And there is a boundary. Both sides there would be a boundary. If it is above the boundary, beyond the boundary, that would be an outlier. Within the boundary, it would be a normal. It would be a normal data, which will be good. So isolation forest is a tree-based method that isolates anomalies by randomly partitioning data. Okay, isolating anomalies in a fewer partitions. So this is how anomaly detection is done. Whatever is not in normal distribution is beyond normal distribution, that would be called as anomaly, outlier, or it would have some abnormality in the data. That is why anomaly detection is very important, and we need to know all those terminologies, concepts, and apply them. Absorb the information, digest, and apply all these concepts deeply. Let's move to the other section.
Yeah, sure, sir. Let's move on. Okay, so what are the advantages of this unsupervised learning, guys? Actually, like last session and this session, actually, we have gone through the definition of unsupervised learning, what are the types inside it, and we have briefly mentioned the types like clustering, dimensional detection, and today anomaly detection. Let's see what are the advantages of this unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning offers several advantages, making it valuable tools for exploring and analyzing data without requiring labeled information. First is automatic discovery. Okay, unveiling hidden patterns and relationship in data without prior knowledge, because the model itself learns without any labels. Okay, that is what uh, that makes it automatic discovery. Then reduced labeling cost, no need to label the data, it saves the time and resource compared to the supervised learning. Okay, the thing is, when it is supervised learning, you need to create a data and you need to create a label for it. Whereas for the unsupervised learning, there is a no point of creating, or you need to just create a data, no label. Model itself create a label for it. Then exploration and hypothesis generation, generating new insights and hypothesis based on the pattern discovery in data. This exploration and hypothesis generation is makes easier by using this unsupervised learning. Okay. So so underlying advantage, what is the basic advantage of unsupervised learning? We doesn't need to give up labeled data for the model, and due to which everything become automatical, and then the time and computational cost is very reduced when compared to the supervised learning. So these are the advantages of unsupervised learning. So yeah, hope you guys can able to understand after the several explanation about different types of unsupervised learning algorithms. So what is unsupervised learning algorithm, and based on the comparison of supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Okay, yeah, yes sir, over to you.
Yeah, so advantages of unsupervised learning, guys. First is that automatic discovery, unveiling the hidden patterns relationship in the data without prior knowledge. Yeah, I'll say the magic happens in unsupervised learning because it will surprise you with the insights. If, okay, there's a condition. If you have done pre-processing, chosen the right model, and got the right data from the right source with integrity, and it will surprise you with the insights. And there is the magic. Second, reduces labeling cost. It will reduce the labeling cost. You have to label data, right? When you do pre-processing, you have to you have to label it properly, right? Okay, so no need to label data, saves a lot of time, resource compared to supervised learning. That's another advantage of unsupervised learning. Then exploration and hypothesis generation, generating new insights, hypothesis based on the pattern discovery, the surprises like human eye cannot discover, and the unsupervised learning will find those patterns and surprise you. Okay, if you have done all the steps rightly with ethics and as per the objective problem statement, objective function of the project, it is going to surprise you. There are a lot of advantages. Okay, deep, keep learning deeply, understand the concept, absorb the information, digest and apply the information properly. Okay, with patience, consistency, persistency, and perseverance. with long-term objective function of your career.
Yeah, guys. Let's move on to the next slide. Yeah. What are the challenges and limitations of this unsupervised learning? So there is a two sides of coin, right? Similarly, let us see what are the challenges of this unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning faces challenges due to absence of label. So it's an advantage and it is also a disadvantage, leading to a potential limitations and complexity in interpreting the result. First thing, ambiguity. Interpreting discovered patterns can be subjective, require domain experts to understand their significance. Okay, yeah, as I'm mentioning, right? So when it is in circle shape and red color, it belongs to category A, and when it is not in circle color, circle shape and in yellow color, it belongs to category B. As I'm mentioning, only you guys can able to say it is apple, it is banana. If I say category A, category B, you guys doesn't able to find what is the class of it. That is what ambiguity. You need a domain expert. Here I am the expert because I'm the person who define the problem statement. So you need a domain expert to do a class like class labels for the clusters which is made by the model. Then suboptimal solution. Algorithms may not always obtain the optimal solution as they rely on heuristics and optimization techniques. So here all the unsupervised learning, I will not say unsupervised, all the algorithm creates a not a creates a optimal solution. It will create a somewhat nearer to optimal solution. We need to go for some kind of fine tuning on optimization in order to make the solution more optimal, that we get a suboptimal solution. We need to tweak some parameters and you need to play on the parameters so that you fine tune it and makes the solution optimal for the problems. Data quality. The quality of data significantly impact the accuracy and interpretability of the result. Okay, guys, anything that be, data is the fundamental, middle, and the final thing. Okay, now you guys can able to understand because that's the reason we have taught you to play with data for the first 30 to 40 sessions. Now you guys know the value of data, right? You need to fix the source, you need to go for EDA, you need to find, you need to safeguard your data, how you need to handle the data, where to store the data, how to access everything we have learned. Data quality plays a very very important role in doing unsupervised learning. I will not say unsupervised learning, any kind of algorithm. Okay, so these are the challenges that we are having. So yeah, hope you guys can be able to understand. Yes sir, over to you.
Yes, guys. So, challenges and limitations of unsupervised learning. Ambiguity. Interpreting, discovering patterns can be subjective, requires domain expert to understand their significance. You need a domain expert also, okay, including data scientist, or if you are a data scientist, you need other AIML experts also. Building great model, you need domain experts also. They will tell you what is happening. Okay, okay, if there is ambiguity. Okay, sub optimal solutions. Algorithm may not always find optimal solutions as they rely on heuristics. What is heuristic? Heuristic is, if you understand heuristic, it is not an exact solution, but it is somehow nearer solution. That's what is called heuristic. Not like, let's say not 100%, 80%, some kind of solution for the problem is like heuristic. That's what is called heuristic. Okay. So algorithm may not always find the optimal solution, but rely on heuristic and optimal techniques. Means some kind of solution, some uh, kind of performance model. Okay, some kind of performance accuracy or solution. Let's say data quality. The quality of the data significantly impacts the accuracy and interpretability of the result. So quality also, that's why data problem statement. It starts with problem statement, defining clearly and collecting data according to characteristics of the problem statement from the right source with the integrity and pre-processing, cleaning, pre-processing, EDA, all those things. Once you do and choosing the right model, then If that is done properly, data quality, then you will not have this challenge. If you have built a good model, done all the things, suboptimal solutions won't be a problem. Ambiguity, if you have domain experts with you, you won't have this problem. So ultimately, if you're planning properly for the project, for the application, whatever project you're building model, if you're a proper team, proper planning, right steps you're applying from from the initial till end, I don't think you will face these challenges. Okay, it's all about planning, managing, applying, strategy, execution. Okay, with the right approach, right uh, model, integrity, ethics from the right. It starts with a problem statement, right problem statement, clearly defined problem statement, right data from the right source, right with integrity, with pre-processing, cleaning, pre-processing, EDA, all those things properly, right team, right domain experts with you, you won't have these problems. That's what I'll say. So keep learning deeply, understand, apply, absorb the information, digest the information, apply with long-term objective function of your career. Keep learning deeply. Thanks. Let's move to the other.
Yeah, sure, sir. Yeah, guys. So I hope like now you guys can able to understand what are the advantages and disadvantages that we are having for unsupervised learning. Okay. Final thing. Applications of unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning has a wide range of applications in various domains, contributing to effective analysis, that is data analysis, pattern recognition, and automation, automated decision making. Okay, decision making and automation. Guys, I hope like I don't want to mention it again, right? Because I have just mentioned only two applications here. One is customer segmentation, another one is fraud detection. Since I have only this space, okay, because this unsupervised learning or machine learning, they're gonna have a wide range of application across all the fields. I don't think any field which doesn't have this data science application, data science algorithms application. Every field in the world has the application of AIML. So blindly, you guys need to say all the field has application of unsupervised learning, supervised learning, reinforcement learning, computer vision, everything. Okay, anything that is related to AML, now all the domains needs it. Okay, so yeah, let's see what are the applications that we are listing out in this slide. Okay, first is customer segmentation, grouping customer based on their purchase habits or demography to personalize marketing campaign. Yeah, consider a person is getting a salary very high and he is purchasing something which is high price, low salary, low purchase, medium salary, medium purchase. So this is a kind of a thing which is able to group high salary, high purchase, medium salary, medium purchase, low salary, low purchase. Like that we can segregate the things, right? Like clustering. So this kind of customer segmentation is called as, yeah, this kind of customers clustering is called as customer segmentation. Next, fraud detection. Identify a fraud transaction or unusual patterns of financial data. Yeah, as I mentioned, right, in the stock market, a stock will be growing in a form of a linear manner. Sudden there is a peak. That means there is something suspicious happen. Outlier occurs. That is what called as a fraud detection. I hope you guys can able to understand, right? So I'm again saying this is not only application that we are having for unsupervised learning. There are multiple applications. Okay, so yeah, these are the only listed application that I have explained. So yeah, these are the, you can able to understand this kind of any application can be handled by this unsupervised learning. Okay, hope you guys can able to understand. So yeah, sir, over to you.
Yes. So, guys, application of unsupervised learning. Okay. So, whenever you read all these terminologies, split them into different syllables. You will understand the meaning. So, I'm giving you simplicity how you can interpret any concept. Okay. So, customer segmentation is that is one of the application grouping customer based on their purchase habits, and that can be like any industry. If you hypothetically, if you imagine right now what I'm saying, whosoever has customers and purchases something, you can apply anywhere. That's it. Or demographics to personalized market campaigns. Whosoever is doing campaigns, it should be personalized, right? So, any industry who is doing this kind of behavior, I'll say behavior. See, one behavior is customer behavior, the other behavior is company behavior, the industry behavior. You have to understand what is the industry behavior. Whatever company is behaving this way, you can tell them, oh, customer segmentation can be unsupervised learning application can be done. Predicting, personalizing the market campaign. I think every industry needs personalized campaigns. It's very simple, right? Fraud detection, identifying fraud transactions, financial sector, highly recommended for this. Okay, stock market, even companies whose customer pay them, and you will say every industry is like requires fraud detection also, because suppose you bought a sim from Geo, you have to pay bill every time. If the payment gateway or the billing page is hacked in a day, how many millions of dollars will be lost? Guys, understand. So if you build such kind of application or a website page, that landing page, or what you say, the payment gateway or kind of thing, so it is going to protect that company's financial transactions. Understand? So every company needs that. And unusual patterns in financial data. So that will be specific to financial industry, stock market, and all. So I'll say every industry requires, as Raja also already mentioned, unsupervised learning, and we can use it in any industry which has such behaviors in their business. Okay, business is behavior, guys. Behavior is business. Business is behavior. That's it. So whatever behaviors they are doing, behavior is what? Action. How they behave, what they do, right? So you can use unsupervised learning to all the companies who have such behavior. I'll say learn deeply with high persistency, consistency, and patience, perseverance, and with long-term objective function, and keep learning deeply. If you have come to this session, so first watch all the session 5 to 10 times, previous sessions, then come to this session. Keep learning deeply.
Yeah. So, guys, that's all we are having for today's session. Hope you guys have enjoyed this session. So, we have just in the last session we have introduced the unsupervised learning. Today we have concluded what is unsupervised learning. From next session, we're gonna see algorithm, black box of it, theory concept of it, and then the coding session of each and every algorithm. I'm very excited for those section. Hope the same thing for you guys. So yeah, that's it for today's session. Make sure you guys have watched all entire session, and make sure if you guys have any doubt, just bring in the comment. We will take up and we will solve your doubts. And until next session, take care, guys. Bye. We will all meet in the next session, guys. Bye. Take care.